Good
Good.
morning, Miley's.
Good morning, Julia. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Kind of. I know we're both kind of fibbing a little bit because we're neither really good, but we gotta be secret chicks and be happy and chirpy. But
Keep on keeping on.
keep on keeping on. Yeah,
Good.
both of us have massive headaches, so we'll just
Yes.
try and stay.
Good morning, everyone. We see we're wearing our Cornwall Seeker masks. They're more like bandit
Yeah,
masks than.
yeah, whenever I saw Julia with hers on the other day, I thought she was in a like a country western movie going to rob the bank. Okay. Actually, I'm thinking the thing. You know what? I think if we put a few tucks at the bottom, I wonder if I could do a little something with my knitting needle, my sewing needle.
There you go.
We'll see.
I don't know, but my glasses are all fogged up.
Oh, you too, right? That's what I was
See?
wondering. Yeah, you're no worse than mine. Yeah. And you
Oh,
wanted to wear you wanted to wear like a mask under yours. Wouldn't even be able to see.
but anyways, for the record, this is how you wear a mask, you know? Because I've seen over the weeks, I've seen them like this.
I've seen a lot of them like that lately.
I've seen them like this.
You have?
Yeah, I've seen somebody that was talking to somebody else. She had just put it like that. She was just talking.
And I've
And
seen them, obviously, we've seen them like this on the chins. I can't even make mine do that. But underneath the
like
chin.
that.
Yeah, that's
I've
enough.
even, when I put this one last time when I went to see my mom this weekend, I
Mhm.
put it like this.
So maybe they were using them as
I
headbands.
mean, my son also was sleeping in the car. He had his like this.
Yeah, that'll
It doubles as a little,
block the light out and help you
yeah,
sleep.
yep.
There are many uses, but the real
Many uses,
is
but
got
the
to be
real
like
use is like my lease is wearing it
yeah,
right now.
so that it blocks what you're breathing out.
So please, people, wear your masks properly. There's a lot of activity over the last week. I even stopped counting. I don't even count anymore how many cases, but I know that there's been quite a bit of activity. We've had quite a jump in the region, and there are now 3 cases confirmed at the Walmart logistics warehouse. So be careful out there. You know, I know a lot of you think that this is a small piece and that's not gonna do anything. It's just a big flu. However, it's a big flu that can have long lasting effects for your heart and your organs. So be careful, wear your mask, social distance, continue doing what you've been doing. And hopefully, we'll get out of this mess very, very soon.
Well, I mean, they say a flu is a virus. They say that this is more a disease that stays with you. It gets in your body and then wreaks havoc with your
Exactly.
internal
That's why
organs.
it's called a COVID 19 disease.
Yeah, it's not. It is not a virus. It is not the flu. But stay safe, everybody. And the more we all wear our masks, we can try and eliminate giving it or catching it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it has to go through 2 layers or more before it can get to you.
So, people, how are you doing today? We want to hear from you. We have the chat box open so you can comment on anything that we talk about today.
Mhm.
It's aside from the increase in COVID-19, it's been a quiet week for us. We've been working all week on our new Seeker that's going to print this morning. We're very excited. It's a very nice issue. I'm so proud of us.
Well, we've been
It's looking
getting
good.
it is. Let's pat ourselves on the back because people have
Yes.
been commenting and complimenting us and telling us how it's looking really rich. I actually even got a compliment from my aunt in England the other day
Oh, wow.
because my dad sends the Seeker to her.
Yeah.
And her words were, "It's a very prestigious looking
Oh,
publication."
wow. Well, that's nice.
Oh my, this is so nice. 'Cause
This is last month's copy, which was the Seaway Foodies, and it was pretty nice. Pretty
it was
And
very
then of course we have our seeker side on the other side, our flip side, and that's all the local stuff that's going on, and many of the things that we've been doing. We have a few new writers, which is really cool. Ian Bowering, we're so happy to have Ian on board with us. He does a lot of historical stuff, so always interesting to read his columns, and a few new columnists that are going to be featured in the next issue. So
well, I'm excited that Betty Healy is back with us.
Mhm.
Betty wrote for us years and years ago when we were a newspaper when we just started, and then she took a little bit of a break because life happened, and now she's back again, and it's awesome. It's her column is called Road Signs, and it's true. There's always signs in the road in our path. We may not see them right
Excuse
away,
me.
but at some point we say, "Oh yeah, that's why that happened. That's why that was there." So yeah, her column is wonderful. This
It is,
month
and it's really needed right now,
it
you know,
is. It
especially
is.
in these COVID times. It's we're trying to inject a lot more positivity in the magazine, so we can keep everybody mentally fit
Mhm.
and positive.
Yeah, we know that the COVID is out there, and we do put the facts and figures about that out too. But our magazine, on the whole, stays positive. In
Hmm.
online, we can put all kinds of stuff, and there is all kinds of information. But the in print must stay positive. That's always been our mission statement, and we'll always stick to that. That's the way we work it, right?
Yep.
And this month we have Neil McMillan in the October issue. Neil has done a really, really, really good interview with a new business that's starting. So you'll have to wait and read that one. And yes, we've got a few things about mental health and staying positive and that kind of thing too.
Yep.
Like you say, we need that right now for sure. So
Absolutely. So we have a new segment on this show that's provided by the CMHA, Canadian Mental Health Association, with
mhm.
Angèle Delacio. And we're going to be featuring those little tips every week now. I think it's important that we go to the right resources to try and find ways to cope during the pandemic, and those little tips are going to help us for sure. But speaking of mental health, I know that you've been doing a challenge this past week.
Yeah, and I think it's affected my mental health and physical health. But yes, all last week I took part in the Hunger Awareness Challenge for the Gaffney Center. There was I think there was 9 people. So what we had to do, the challenge started last Monday, ended on Friday at midnight. But the Thursday before that, at 1 o'clock, I had an appointment to go to the food bank and pick out my food. I thought it was for the week, but what happens is when you go to the food bank, you pick out your items for the month.
Okay.
So I'd never been in there, obviously, and it was a very interesting experience because I had no idea what it looked like. But you go in, there's a lot of shelves. Right now, they are well stocked because fortunately, they're getting a lot of donations. Because right now, with the pandemic, it's time when people are in need. So they're well stocked. So you go in and you walk through, like there's different sections. You're asked to choose X amount of items from each section. So by the time you're done, you've got a cart quite full. I was surprised.
But that's supposed to last you a month.
Yeah. When I went in at first, I thought I was going to get food to last for the time of the challenge, but no, it was for the whole month. So basically, a person has to make that amount of food stretch.
Mm-hmm.
So the next visit. Now, if you do run out, which there's a possibility, because you've got to be so savvy with what you've got, and you don't have as many choices, so you've got to pre-plan and kind of stretch your food out. So if you run out, you can go back to the food bank before the end of the month, and they'll give you what's called an emergency box
Mm-hmm.
to help you out. Also, you can visit the food bank 3 times a week. They're open when you can go in and pick up a lunch.
Mm-hmm.
It's a warm lunch. So again, it's amazing what they offer, but the challenge was you had to eat like somebody, a client from the food bank. So basically, you couldn't touch anything else in your house. You had to eat what you were given. You were allowed to have, they called it three pantry items, which like, soy sauce or spice or something that makes your food taste a little better, something that you have on hand.
Mm-hmm.
But it was an interesting experience, Julia. Like, I mean, for me, it was even a harder experience because, as you know, I don't cook.
Yeah.
I have Chef Sheldon that does everything, and I've always been fortunate. My son took the culinary arts in Ottawa, so he always cooked. My ex-husband cooked. Sheldon cooks. I never had to. So for me, it was a really interesting experience because I had to cook for myself. Either that or kind of try and throw some stuff on a plate that I could kind of eat right away.
Mm-hmm.
And I did post everything on my timeline for every day that I did the challenge. So you can kind of see what I ate and how much I got to eat. Because like I say, even though I got food for a month, I divided it into 4 and figured that was what I could eat. I
So,
figured
what did you miss the most?
I actually missed I like salad, a salad stuff because I have a salad every meal, and I didn't do that. Now we also could spend $10 during that week at the grocery store to buy what we wanted, but I figured in my way of thinking, I'll just take my $10, and if I start running low next week or the week after, I would kind of put it together and buy some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what you run low on is the essentials because you're given 1 bag of milk, and that lasted my 5 days, and I only used it for coffee and
Mm-hmm.
a few bowls of cereal. It doesn't go far. I
Right.
really ration myself. So actually, the $10 should probably go to the essentials like milk, bread, eggs, that kind of stuff. But like I say, it was an interesting experience on how some people unfortunately have to eat like that all the time.
Yeah, and I heard that Sheldon was thinking you were getting cranky there at the end.
Well, I thought I
Because
was.
food impacts everything how we feel, right? The you are what you eat, that's what they say. And when
Mhm,
you're packing your body with processed food and stuff that's not
mhm.
necessarily healthy, you feel it, and your attitude shows it.
Yeah, I thought I was doing well, and then Thursday, I'm like, "What is wrong with me? Why am I like?" I sensed it in myself, but he said, "I said, am I cranky or something?" He goes, I don't really want to say it, but yes." So I
He
was a
was
little
walking on
short.
eggshells.
Yeah, I
Poor
wasn't
guy.
really myself. And then, like I said yesterday, a migraine hit. Like yesterday, oh my God, it was really bad. And I'm like, why do I have such a bad headache? But you had mentioned it, my mom mentioned it too. It's probably feeds back to what I ate last week, when I ate, how little I ate.
Mm-hmm.
And that just triggered it because migraines do get triggered
Yeah,
quite
makes
fast.
sense, makes sense.
So again, like I say, it was an awesome experience. I'm glad I did it. It might take me a few days right now to get
To
over it.
recover, yeah.
As long as I don't move, I'm okay. Like if I sit still and type and don't move. But it's sad because people have to live like that. Yes, they probably get used to it. Their bodies adapt, but it's a shock to the
Yeah,
system.
yeah, yeah.
But I mean, it gave me awareness of how some people have to eat on a daily basis. So it's made me more sympathetic to people, although I always was. But it's tough when somebody says to you, can you spare a few dollars because I'm not going to get paid. I'm down in my nitty gritty in the pantry. I understand definitely what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But we were also making awareness for the Agape Center and all the great stuff that they do,
Mm-hmm.
and raising funds. That's what it was for too. Because I don't know how many people know the Agape Center is not funded by the government. They basically get donations from people in the community, from businesses, grocery stores that can give them a lot of food that can't go back on the shelf. It could be damaged or something in the package, so they get a lot of that. Lately, they've been getting a lot of food from food drives, which is wonderful because I really like seeing those posts.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, fundraisers are another way that they get money. And if you shop in the thrift store, the proceeds from the thrift store go to help the food bank and the soup kitchen. So, anytime you can donate, I know
And,
that the
and
awareness that the challenge is over, but you can donate anytime.
And I've posted the link to donate in the comment box, so you can always donate to the Agape Center.
Mhm.
Just follow the link that I just posted in there. It's canadahelps.org/en/dn/5150, and every little bit helps.
It does. And you can also e-transfer. You can e-transfer to the accounts at theagape.ca, I believe.
Perfect.
So there's different ways. And if you can't donate money, you can always donate food items or gently used items for the thrift store
Yeah.
because they're always needed.
Or volunteer.
That's the other thing too. They need volunteers. Right now, the soup kitchen is closed because with COVID, but they do still need volunteers to cook the food because you walk up and you're handed a box or a bag of food items. There's always a hot food item in there, so they are busy back there cooking, preparing.
Cool. Well, that was interesting. I bet there was a experience of a lifetime.
It definitely was. It
Mm.
definitely was, and it's making, like say, it's making me. It was sad. It's sad to know that people eat like that because myself, I can just go back to my normal way of eating.
Yeah.
Although honestly, I might have needed that right now through COVID because I might have put on extra pounds, so it didn't hurt me in that way.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes you aware too that, we waste so much food. Like I try to my kids, my family, they're not leftovers people, you know.
Mm.
They hate leftovers. So if I make a lasagna and there's leftover, then the next day I'll put it in the fridge. I put it in the fridge, but more often than not, we end up throwing it out because nobody wants the darn leftovers. So,
Oh,
so now I try to either give it to my older kids, like, so after dinner when we're done, I'll just go and bring a care package to my other two,
yeah,
so
that's
it
good.
doesn't get wasted. Because I mean, oh my gosh, like there's so much that we throw out.
Oh, and I see. I can't do that because we do eat the leftovers,
Hmm.
and I hate waste.
Well, I hate wasting too, but so that's why now I do that. I just well, I've started that like quite a while ago.
Yeah,
But
good.
with COVID is even you know more important, I find, to like COVID has kind of made me realize that um yeah, we need to stop wasting. And that's in my article in the last issue too. I was like, things that COVID has taught me, and that's
Hmm.
one of the things that like realize that when there is a shortage of things, you kind of you pause and think, and like, wow, I could run out of this, really, milk
Yeah.
and essentials, eggs, bread,
Yep.
wow, that could, like, the milk is, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the prices, but I mean, the milk prices has gone up quite a bit.
Oh, right. See, I haven't been in a grocery store for a while.
Hmm.
We're kind of lucky because his oldest Ryan works at Walmart, so if we need any milk or something, then we just kind of give him a
Yeah.
quick text and bring it home.
Yeah.
But what is it at? It was like what?
The last time I bought milk, I paid 6.97, I think,
Wow.
for 4 liters instead of for something. It was like 4.97, I
Yeah, it was 4.97.
think. But I mean, hopefully it'll go back down. But yeah, it's just with the second wave hitting, and you're wondering if we're gonna go back to hoarding toilet paper.
Oh, I hope not. But
Um,
it's I saw a post from England, and I guess somebody had posted something that it looks like they've already started there.
oh
So
wow. Which brings me to a question I'm gonna ask the people. So if you stocked up on toilet paper back in March. My question to you is, do you still have toilet paper? Or are you all run out?
How about you? Are you
Oh,
stocked?
I ran out. I ran out. Like I've
Yeah,
been,
we did too.
yeah, we've been buying like as we need.
Yeah.
But we have a big family, so we always buy a huge pack. But
Yeah. Yeah, we really didn't buy that much, to hoard it,
mhm,
but we've run out since. So
mm,
I told Sheldon we should just go and do one grocery shopping to last us again, because if the second wave does hit,
yeah,
I'll be reluctant to go. Like I do go out shopping now,
yeah,
but
so
I
do I.
might be reluctant to do that again. So
Yeah,
it's
I've become actually quite brave because, like, I mean, I've been going here and there. Like on the weekend, I try to take the kids and do stuff because the kids have not been out. They've not been seeing their friends. They've not, I've been pretty strict as what Mateo has seen his friends a few times, but um, but I've been kind of strict, and now with the second wave hitting, I'm kind of even more reluctant. But I try to take them and do stuff together. So we've been to Saint Raffles, we've been to the Lost Villages, we've been to Prehistoric World, we've been to Brockville last weekend. Well, not this past weekend, the weekend before, we went to Kingston shopping. We've been to Vaudreuil. We've been shopping over there. Um, so yeah, I've become a lot more brave, let's say. Uh,
You're actually a
so
lot braver than me, because I still haven't gone too far.
yeah,
So you've
yeah.
been,
And
you've
then
been
this weekend, I went to see my mother in Longueuil. Hadn't seen her since this whole thing started. Like as soon as I think the last time I saw her was before my operation.
oh my
So
goodness, that was back in
in
March.
March, in March. So I finally there was two sides of the coin why I was not going. One is, Quebec is a hot spot. I didn't want to get anything, but also two, I didn't want to expose my mother to anything either. So um but before the second wave really hits bad, I thought, I gotta go.
Mhm.
Like I have
Yeah,
to go and see her and do a
yeah,
visit, and so it was really really nice. We maintained social distancing and wore masks. She didn't because she has COPD, so
hmm
um, she's got a hard time keeping her mask on for more than like a minute or two.
yeah.
But
But you guys had yours on, so she was safe.
yeah, she
She was.
was safe. Yeah, us not so much, but but she was. Um, but it's a elderly residence where she lives, and they're kind of strict,
Mhm.
and they maintain good protocol. So hopefully everything is okay, and she's not getting anything, and then we did not get anything either. I'm much more concerned about the fact that my husband works uh, at
That
the
is,
warehouse over there.
yeah, at the warehouse where there's 3 cases right now, I believe, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, one was in his building, and then two outside of his building. So
Okay.
it was in the other building. So
But like we said the other day, like, I mean, you can't really hide and stop living. So we just have to keep on keeping on and just keep ourselves as
hope
safe
for
as
the
we
best.
can. Yeah. Hope
Yeah.
for the best. I
Do
was reading the Spanish flu back in when that happened. It lasted 2 years, and there was 4 waves of it.
Oh, wow.
Scary, eh?
Yay! Yay! 4 waves.
We've only got what?
Oh my god.
Possibly 2 more to go after this one. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
No,
the good news is we're almost done year 1,
yeah,
so
2020 is closing soon. Well, soon,
yep.
not yet. We actually, speaking of closing, we did our last wedding this past Friday. Because, of course, the wedding season completely took a nosedive.
Yes.
Usually we start in March, and this year, our first ever event, which was a video with 16 people,
Mhm.
was August 1st. So we really didn't do much. And thankfully, so most of our weddings got put into next year. Some have canceled completely. Some have gone into 2022
Wow.
because they were planning for 2021. And, like planning a wedding is a big job. So they
It
don't want to
is.
go through all this and then find that we've been cut back down to 10 people or something. So because when a wedding goes from 250 even down to 25 or 50, who are you going to choose? It's really, really
That's
tough.
kind of insulting. You've
Oh
been
my
canceled.
God. Yeah, well, what happened was this past weekend, of course, now we're still at 50 inside. Well, we were. Now we've changed again, but this wedding was right on the day that it was changing.
Hmm.
And they ended up doing everything outside. There was like a little bit over 80 people invited, so everything was outside. So then the way they had to work it, 50 could come in. So like, the rest of them stayed out or left. I mean, they went home. So when they say two people came in and then, a few people came out, then a few others from outside could come in. It was like crazy. Like that's
Yeah.
not what it's supposed to be, but you gotta make sure there's only 50 people at all times in the building.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a little stressful doing any of that right now, but we did our last one, so now we're looking at next March we start again, and hopefully we'll have a different situation.
Yeah.
Very, very,
It's
very.
it's you know what I don't get? I don't get why like the CERB was so has been going on until now, and now that the second wave hits,
When we really need it.
when we really need it, it's gone. Like, my guess is that we're going to see more and more closures in the next few months.
Hmm.
And then what? Like, they're going to have to do a second round of it, I guess.
I don't know. I don't even know because what now they've changed the rule too. I think bars and stuff like that has to close at 12. It's got to be
So
closed.
so bars and reception halls and
Mhm.
restaurants, all that industry has to stop alcohol sales at 11.
Yeah,
Last calls at 11, and then everybody has to close at 12. So
yeah.
between 12 and 5 a.m., I think it is,
Hmm.
everything is shut down.
Except for
Um,
I guess takeout and delivery can still
Takeout and
continue.
delivery
You
can
cannot go
can
inside.
happen, right? And then the strip clubs have been shut down. So no more,
Completely shut down, right?
yeah, no more masked strippers.
I
'Cause
saw an
the
article about that.
Yeah, no, that was funny. The headlines on in Quebec one time, the headlines were saying um strippers can take it all off except their mask. It was a funny headline.
I still laugh with this mask thing. Like no matter what, everybody recognizes you. They still know who you are. Like because yesterday I went and visited the garlic market. That was on yesterday. Uh, and again, I walked in and it's like, "Hi, Marlies." I'm going, "I'm in disguise. How do you guys know who I am?" Oh, we know.
Yeah, it's amazing actually. It
Wow.
just goes to show you how much is in our eyes,
Exactly.
how much of our personality lies in our
Yeah,
eyes. Because me too, I
exactly.
get it all the time. I go out and I'll recognize someone and they recognize me and I'm like, hi, how are you? And yeah, it's just like, wow, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, you still get seen. Anyways, talking about the garlic market, it was a really nice event.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, they had planned it for the 30th of August, and then things had to be postponed and protocols changed and all kinds of stuff. And so they ended up having it yesterday, a month later almost. But the sad part was where there was supposed to be a certain amount of vendors. Some
Hmm.
of them ran out of garlic, like their season came to an
Oh,
end, so they
yeah.
couldn't come because they had no garlic left. Like it was a whole month that it got
Right.
changed. So I never even thought of stuff like that. We just don't think of that. But it was a nice event. They had 15 vendors, and they were outside around the band shell, like all around the perimeter of the band shell, which was really good. And they had it fenced off, so only 25 could go in at once because, of course, it went from 100 down to 50 and then down now it was 25 when it finally took place, but they managed to control it, and they had probably just a little bit over 250 people go through. It was nice, and the wave thing is actually nice when you go in waves because you have more of a chance to talk to people.
Hmm.
I know with our wedding show that's how we do it, because if everybody comes in at the same time and everybody's at your booth, you can't talk to anybody
I'm super confused though.
about what.
I thought it was 2510 when it's an unmonitored thing, and still 150 when it's in a monitored setting.
I don't know. They were told they could only let 25 in at a time.
See, it's really confusing.
So I know.
And
Yes.
the testing, now we have a new testing facility in Castleman, not Castleman. Oh, what's the name of that place? I
It's at
forget.
Calypso. Are you talking
It's at Calypso, yeah.
Calypso?
Limoges, that's the name of
Okay.
the place. So so yeah, so now that's a new place where you can go and get tested. They can do a lot of tests in that little area,
Mhm.
because everybody was getting like overwhelmed with all the testing, and
Yeah.
with the schools open, and more people needing testing all the time. They would run out of room by like 11 a.m. or 9 a.m. Even one time, I know we posted on our web on Facebook that they had announced at 9:35 that they had reached a capacity for the day. So this Limoges thing, that at the Calypso parking lot, is a very good thing. So
Oh yeah. Because I know at Castleman, I think they could maybe accommodate 40 or between 40 and 60 cars at the most. I mean,
yeah,
here it's huge.
yeah,
So
it is.
it's a lot better place for it. But I feel bad for all the people that are working at those places and getting overwhelmed, and even more so the people that are doing the testing in the labs. Can you imagine
Oh yeah,
all
that's
that coming at you? Wow,
yeah.
that's got
I'm
to
sure
be a
they're working nonstop,
yeah,
24/7.
it's got to
It's
be a 24/7 job. That one
yeah, yeah. That's
crazy. But
hmm
anyway, we're trying to stay away from the COVID talk, but I mean, it's consuming our life because it's everywhere. Yet we have no idea where it is. You know?
So maybe it's a good time to run our little mental health tip of the week. Okay, so let's run it.
Perfect.
Bear with me. It's the first time I do this.
Yeah, you did it once at work, so you can do it again.
All right.
Hi, this is Angèle Delacio from the Canadian Mental Health Association with your wellness tip of the week. Active coping, using positive coping skills to reduce stress. How to achieve it? Talk to a friend, listen to your favorite music. For more wellness tips and information, visit our Facebook page at CMHA East or our website at cmhaeast.on.ca.
There we go. That was easy.
That was short and sweet and to the point. That was good.
Uh-huh. But
What's
yeah, talk to a friend. Like that's so important, you know. You can't We're so isolated as it is.
mhm.
Don't isolate yourself more. Reach out if you need it. Reach out. I'm sure there's a lot of people willing to listen, and sometimes it's not even somebody that you necessarily know, but you know, strangers are good listeners too.
Well, I mean, speaking of that, like we're always available too if anybody needs a listening ear. Secret Chick
Absolutely.
Julie and I were always accessible and available and
We're
no,
not therapists by any stretch of the imagination, but
no,
uh, but we can listen, and
and we can
sometimes
maybe
that's all
see
you need.
things in a different perspective as well. Because I know whenever I get stressed, guess who gets the phone call? Secret Chick
Vice
Julia.
versa.
So yeah, it is,
No,
but it
it's
is
good to have a friend that we can lean on, and
yeah.
you know, listen to us venting when things get too overwhelming.
Yeah, and it does happen. It does happen. And
Hmm.
it's normal. So there's nothing wrong with it. It just sometimes you need someone to give you a few tools to deal with things. So that's the way I look
Absolutely. You know, one of the stigmas of mental health is feeling that you're not normal.
at it. Hmm.
Like I know I'll talk about my experience. So years and years ago, I had a major depression, episode of major depression. And at the time, I was going to church all the time. I was very, very devoted Christian, um, way back when. That's another story as to where am I today. But anyway, so I used to go to church every Sunday, and I remember sitting there in church and feeling like I was wrong, like I was abnormal, like there was something majorly wrong with me. I should be happy. I have everything I could ever wish for. Like there was nothing in my life that could, that was warranting all the feelings of depression that I was feeling, yet
Mhm.
I was feeling them. So my first thought was that there was something wrong with me. And I remember there was a young girl that was sitting next to me. She was like barely 18, I think, but she had told me, listen, because I was very reluctant in taking medication. I didn't want to take any medication
Mhm.
for depression because I felt like I was better than that. Like I could do it on my own. Like I just had to kick myself out of it, right?
Mhm.
And she said to me, she said, listen, if your body was not producing enough insulin, you would take medication for it, wouldn't you? And I was like, yeah. And she said, well, your brain is not firing enough electricity. You need medication for it. And that kind of put things into perspective for me.
Yeah,
So
that's a realistic way of looking at it for
Mhm.
sure.
And so after that time, I after that what she said to me, I
Mhm.
did seek help, and I went to a doctor, and they prescribed some medication, and I took some medication at some time. But the feeling of being abnormal, like that's one of the biggest stigma of mental
Mhm.
health. You're not abnormal. You are very normal. Like most of us have depression at one point or another in our lives. It's
Yep.
just it's normal. Life is full of ups and downs, so your feelings are going to be ups and down too, you know?
Yep.
So reach out.
Yeah, I know at one point, like again, like you get overwhelmed and this and that. And I was saying, why is everybody else's life like this and mine is like, somebody was saying, well, it's like a wave in the sea. You just have to get a bigger surfboard and go over it. Get
There
some
you
rock,
go.
go over it. But it's true. There's nothing wrong. It's just you just need a few coping mechanisms. I call them tools to
Yeah.
help you
Yeah.
deal with it.
You just got to fill your toolbox with
Yeah,
good effective tools,
yeah,
and sometimes that tool is medication, and that's just fine. Yeah.
yep. And you just keep on keeping on
Yeah.
and get through it. So, I mean, sometimes it's easier said than done,
Of
but
course.
again, if talking is the best thing, if you need, because somebody else can see things in a different point of view and then help you that way.
Well, it's just like that young girl that I was saying,
Yeah,
she
she's
had a
had
completely
differently from
different
you.
perspective on what I was going through than I did. We tend
Mhm.
to judge ourselves so harshly
Yes.
and expect so much from us, from
Yep.
ourselves. And she just really um shed a light on how I should be looking at this, and it was quite amazing from somebody so young. She
I
was
was
wise beyond her years.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So
Yeah.
you never know. You never know. And go out and if you're walking, smile at people because again, you don't know what the next person is going through in their lives, and just a little smile or a little hi. I mean, so it's I laugh though because sometimes I'll be going on a walk, and especially the younger generation, they'll be walking heads down this and that, and I go, "Hi, how are you?" And they look at you like, "Oh my God, you just spoke to me." But there's nothing wrong with a nice word. It
Hmm.
just encourages
Yeah,
people.
kindness goes a long way,
It does.
and
It does.
I find that we're missing kindness in this pandemic a
Yeah.
lot. So
Yeah.
we have to go back to being kind to one another,
Yeah, we
and
do.
we don't all see the same way. We don't see things all the same way, and that's okay.
Yep.
We still have to live together, and we still have to be respectful of one another, and but be respectful of one another, because that's the thing. Oftentimes, because somebody has a different opinion, they will refuse um to do whatever is in place because they don't believe in it, and
Yeah, some people just see black or white and they can't see
Oh.
the gray part in the middle where there could be room for change or change in opinion or something. So
Yep.
yeah, no, that's true too.
Do you have any events? Because I see my daughter, I think she needs me right now. There is
I
probably a school problem. So I'm going to remove myself for a second and let you talk.
I really don't have any. That's the problem.
Okay. Well, you're going to have to chit chat for a minute or two.
All right, go and find out what's going on. Yeah, with the this what's going on with the schooling too. I'm actually very happy that I don't have to deal with that because I see what Sika Chick Julia goes through on a daily basis. My kids are a lot older. Like my baby is 23, daughter is 28 with two little ones herself, 6 and 8, and then my oldest is 32. So I mean, the schooling part is done for me, and of course Sheldon's youngest, she's 12 and she's going to school, but luckily her mother is dealing with that aspect of things too. But I see on a daily basis what Julie is going through because she has three little ones at home, or two little ones, 10 and 11. And then Mateo is 16, so he's pretty well doing his own thing. But I see on a daily basis how this is affecting her because she can't do a full day of her own work. I'm just talking about how fortunate I am that my kids are older and I don't have to do what you're doing, being a pretty well almost a full-time teacher, because there's always something. Your kids are working online, or I'm not sure exactly where you're at with that. But again, like you're there to help them when there's a hiccup or they need something explaining or something. You're the one that has to do it. Take
Yeah.
away from your day of what you have to do, and it's hard. It's
Yeah,
really hard
it
for
is.
them.
It's been an adjustment. I tell you, the last 2 weeks have been quite stressful, and I'm going to need mental health guidance soon. But it's like the two, Mateo and Trinity, who are with the Catholic District School Board. It's pretty smooth sailing. Like Trinity needed me now, but just because she needs to print something out, and
Okay.
so like I have to, like, we just installed a printer on her computer this morning and I have to teach her how to print the stuff. So
Mhm.
that's fine and it'll be okay once she knows how to do it. Um my youngest, that one, it's like it's been challenging. It's been a mess. He's is with the other school board, and it's, I have no words. I can't even. Like, like, I don't know why they can't do it the same way that the Catholic District School Board is
So
doing
with the
it.
Catholic school board, how are they doing it? Like online, the teacher teaches online and in class at the same time,
Yes.
which
Yes.
makes a lot of sense to me. That's the way it should be.
Yes. It's much easier.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna need to put you down again.
Okay, go and figure it out. Yeah, I mean, to me, if the teacher's on the screen and teaching in class at the same time, it's easier on the students, it's easier on the teacher because teachers have to prepare. I'm not sure how the other school system is working, but obviously not the same way, which, in my opinion, means the teacher has to do twice the work. The parent has to do work. So, again, Julia's little one is fortunate that she is there at home and she can help. But what about all those poor little kids that the parents are not able to help them with their schoolwork, or don't, some of them may not have the patience to do it and can't help them. What happens to those little people that fall? To me, they fall in between the cracks because they're not getting the help that they should from the teacher. So this is really hard on the kids. Yes, they went back to school. They need to see their friends. I'm not sure how that's working either with the social distancing, but all in all, this pandemic, COVID-19, is hitting people in many different ways. So, I mean, if you're on the chat, just let us know how it's affected you. If you're a business person, how's it affected you? Give us your comments. And how are you dealing with this every day? Like I say, right now, Julie and I have got to the point that we're still very careful. Like, I mean, we're still doing what we did all the time. We're wearing a mask. I mean, crazy to say, but we're still putting our groceries in quarantine and washing things and this and that. So basically, we've continued doing that because if there is a second wave, we won't have to start doing all this from scratch. We're just so used to doing it anyway. So, but like I say, give us your comments on how you're dealing with all this. And definitely, like we were saying, if you need to chat, if you need to talk, we're always available. Like, I mean, I always have this policy with my own kids and with Sheldon's kids that if they need to talk, no matter what I'm doing, I will stop and I will take the time, because especially with kids, no matter what age, when they want to talk, they want to talk, and that talking time disappears quite fast. So you have to take advantage of it. And even with anybody, because if you don't listen, if you don't pay attention, that could really affect somebody in not a good way. So always take the time.
All
There's
right.
there's always, I'm just saying too, like with my kids, like again, with kids, take the time to listen to them. If they need to talk, they need to talk to you right now.
Mm-hmm.
And kids have a very short talking attention span. So
I'm going to have to print her stuff from my computer because it's not working from her computer. So I'm just talking at the same time.
Yeah, because you can multitask.
I can multitask. I was just on her computer before, but that's good. Oh, the technical.
Yeah, and that's why
things, eh?
we didn't do a show last week, because we had major technical difficulties.
You
Sheldon
did,
and I,
yes.
oh my God, talk about trying to live without internet. Like we're so used to it. And last week, what happened was we put our phone onto a mobile line, and then what happened was we canceled that one contract. But unfortunately, Bell misunderstood and canceled our internet contract too, which had 2 more years on it.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, Friday at midnight, click, the internet goes off. And I'm like, what do we do now? Life is ended. So,
No kidding, eh?
try to get a hold of Bell. They couldn't come and reinstall anything till Tuesday. So
Wow.
Monday, that's why we didn't do the show, because we had no internet. I couldn't get on.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about technical stuff. Geez, we rely on that so much.
We do. It's like really the world ends when.
Well, it did. It ended. Like we were able to hook up through our phone as a hotspot, but I mean, you can't do that full time because that doesn't last indefinitely, and it's slower. So when our internet came back on Tuesday, guess who was a very happy girl?
Yeah, you must have been.
I had thought of other things to do too. I mean, if I don't have internet, I can always go catch up on my gardening. So
yeah, that's true.
That was the other thing that I did a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, talking about distractions and relaxation and how we cope if we're stressed. What kind of other coping methods?
Well, you take you go and get massages all the time.
Well, you know what? I went for my first massage last Thursday, and I have a wonderful massage therapist / counselor. It's always good to talk to her. I had not gone to for a massage, Julia, since March.
Yeah.
And I was going every 2 weeks because of the fibro and the pain that I'm having. Anyway, it was awful because when COVID hit, I stopped going for massages, and I was going every 2 weeks because that's kind of one of my coping mechanisms with being in chronic pain all the time. And when she had me fill out the paperwork, I realized I had not seen her for quite a few months back since March. So she had quite a job to work on me for an hour, and it was good to do that. But that was one of my mechanisms to cope with going for a massage every 2 weeks. But my main mechanism is to kind of disappear into the garden and work on my flowers, picking weeds, listening to the birds, just being outside. is really, really important for me. Just being away from my computer for a little bit. So when the internet did go down, that's what I did. I didn't, worry about it, didn't dwell on it. I kind of just did something else that I needed to catch up on, and I had the opportunity at the time. So again, what are your coping mechanisms? What do you do when you get stressed? How do you deal with it? Give us some comments. We'd like to know. Anyway,
Okay, I'm back, but
Good.
I'm having issues. So it's
Well,
10:53, so I'm going to suggest that we end this right now so I can go and do that, and I'm going to make sure that it's set up for next week so I don't have to have the same thing happening. I apologize to our viewers.
Life happens, and so
life happens.
Listen to me rattling on while she was gone, but anyway, it's all good.
Life in the time of COVID, I tell you what.
Yeah, but before we go, we just want to let you know that if you have any events coming up, please go to our event calendar at thesika.ca and enter your events, because right now it's with this crazy time, like there may be stuff going on, there may be not. We'd like to get back to our 4-page calendar of events at one point, but it could take a while. But please go in and enter your events so we can help you to let people know what's going on too.
Absolutely. All right. Well, have a good week, people, and we'll see you next week at 10 o'clock. And hopefully, I'm not gonna have to shut down early.
Have yourself a super duper day.
Yep.
Bye.